SRB rating is still pending. It's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Hopefully it's not adults only.
Well, I think I would have to take my pants off for that.
Please keep your pants on.
Welcome back to X-Play.
Weird games. We've played a lot of them. Some are beautiful in their simplicity, and some are about giant cockroaches. Come on, I know I'm not the only one who played Bad Mojo.
But sometimes weird games can teach us things, too.
Like our next game. Here's our look at this evolutionary edition of Weird Games presented by EB Games.
Another day breaks, a newly born square greets the wide world. And once more, we take a look at the grotesque, the strange, the confounding in this edition of Weird Games.
Presented by EB Games.
One way to spice up evolutionary theory is to make it out of cubes. This is the vicious domain of the Cubivore. Cubivore tastes good. Your piggy cube starts life with just one square appendage. He'll drag himself through the square bushes and the square lakes, trailing square ripples behind him. Like any wild beast, his first thought is killing any creature he can find. Weaken them down enough and you can tear one of their limbs off. Oh, don't cry. It's nature's way. Swallow enough flesh and your beast will mutate, growing more appendages. Each mutation has its own method of locomotion. Slithering, limping, waddling. He's so graceful. Along the way, your Cubivore will find ways to boost his attractiveness. The higher your cube hotness, the more girl Cubivores will come running when you enter the tunnel of love. After you help propagate the species, you'll have several horribly deformed babies. This starts the cycle of limping, fighting, and ripping anew. Look, baby got his first tooth. He's so happy. And he's levitating. Then you run across this. You could get the American version of Cubivore, but I don't think it'll make any more sense in English. The design is reminiscent of the fried egg in a crack pipe world of Katamari Damacy. But while the look is weird, it does make a twisted sort of sense after a while. Moving on, another way to grow mightier is training. Hey, there's a treadmill in the middle of the wilderness. Training will eventually earn you a butthole. Now that I've got a sphincter, I can leave behind my unwanted limb characteristics in little piles of naturally selective poo. But the path to Darwinian perfection is not always easy. Oh, I'm squirting square blood from my head. The jungle is not a pretty place, and only the strong survive. We've seen lots of bizarre games over the years, but until this one, we've never seen the origin of species make love to a Rubik's Cube. Cubivore is a rare form of life that will live on in our hearts and continue its long climb up the evolutionary ladder of the weird.
Seeing cubes in the wild like that really takes me back to the 16-bit era.
You know, it's funny to think that even in the age of GTA's hot coffee mod, Cubivore's evolutionary content might actually be controversial to some people.
You know, there's a hidden mod in Cubivore that lets you play a creationism minigame. It's called Hot God, and in it, your cube doesn't have to do anything except give up one of his cube ribs.
I like ribs. They're delicious.
Oh, they are.